Time to become your best you, Michelle.
That's
and
right.
I think
I don't know. Everything's
you
a
have
little
all
suspect
the
today.
key ingredients right in front of her. Sherry Clark, how about that? We're here to create your best you.
This is not your typical fare that you're hauling around in your little
and we're
traveling
talking
bag.
a little bit about anxiety today and being worried about things. And I think everybody can relate to this, Michelle.
Yes.
And what you can do to try to calm things down and make yourself feel better and reduce the stress you might have every single day.
Exactly.
First, talk about how more people are anxious today than they were.
No question about it.
Just even a few years ago.
I'm anxious right now, as a matter of fact.
Talk about that overall.
Well, think about the pace of our society. I mean, how quickly things are going. We want everything right now, right? So yes, there is absolutely more anxiety, and there's more anxiety because of that, and also because we've gotten away from our roots and our natural ways. Think about what we consume these days, and that's what I brought in. Even though we're in jest, this is part of the problem. So if you look on your far right, Michelle, I had to go into the store and buy that, and I.
Jeez, did you have sunglasses and a hat and everything?
I did.
You certainly couldn't let anybody see you buying this.
Nobody could see me buying that. But
this, no problem. This.
Sugar's in everything.
Yes.
And sugar exacerbates our adrenal glands. It puts us on high alert. We know, the sugar buzz.
Right, and we were just discussing some things about where you can find sugar in items that you never would imagine, in amounts that you would not imagine, like real common things like breads and things like that, in enormous amounts.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's addictive.
It's totally addictive. We like it a little sweeter. I want a sweet something after you're done eating. So it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. And so not only that, if we look at the gummy bears, we brought that along.
There's nothing wrong with gummy
Don't take
food.
away loose candy
No,
now.
sorry. But in addition to it being sugar, there's dyes in there. That's another thing that stimulates our system to have us go into this. We don't handle stress really well when we're under all that pressure. Alcohol, sorry, I know we think of it as being the escape. Oh, I'm going to chill, going to have a cocktail. Too much of it. Has anybody ever drank too much and woke up the next morning sweating or feeling a little bit shaky or whatever? That contributes to anxiety. That doesn't help us deal with the day. You might think that it does, but let me tell you.
Nobody gets better. I haven't seen anybody that gets better.
And
with
your
a lot of that.
situation doesn't get better. So it really
could get a lot worse.
Exactly. Which is another thing. Part of what I wanted to touch on today, and we don't have enough time to cover the whole gamut of this conversation, but there's a continuum, just like there is for many things. So on the one end of the continuum is the little bit of nervous stress. And what prompted me to talk about this today was I gave a presentation this week to a live auditorium, 1,300 people. I had anxiety, I had stress, I had coping mechanisms. It wasn't anything on that
So you didn't
tray.
use any of these crutches, so to speak?
I didn't.
Nothing at all. You even have some pills over there too.
Yeah, that's to represent medications can exacerbate anxiety. Sometimes we think of medications, all of them as being combinative. They can, if they're mixed in combination with other things, you might feel anxious. Take a look at your meds. Check with your doctor. Go online. Take a look and see if maybe that's one of the side effects. And the dollar bill represents that part of the anxiety and stress comes from the daily grind and the pressures that we have. Make more money, buy more things, do more stuff, more. And no wonder we feel anxious. So on the one end of the continuum, we can go over to the end and be actually into the mental illness zone. And then on the other end is the anxiety that I felt of 1,300 people looking at me in an auditorium.
And knowing how to manage, I mean, there's some good things that can come from having a little bit of anxiety, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. The good news about the anxiety that I felt before my talk was it made me want to do a good job. I worked, I knew my lines, I showed up early, I did all the things because I was anxious. I was like, I want to do good at this. When it crosses over into terror, fear, addictive behaviors, then we know that we need to think about management.
Need to address it.
Exactly. So let me tell you what I did. So, to manage the anxiety of the thing, because I was nervous. I don't know if you guys ever get nervous. You do this every day, but then when they take you, maybe you do a live remote and you're like, where's the camera? What am I doing? You might feel a little bit of that anxiousness. I certainly did. And so I did, I did this herb which is called Calm ASAP. I just liked the name of it. It sounded
What
like-
is it?
It's got lavender flowers in it. It's all natural. I like the natural things.
Of course you do, yeah.
You know, so that I did, and I just did it. I got to the theater. The performance started at 7. At 5 o'clock, I took one of those. It could have been placebo, Lou. I don't know.
But it worked.
It felt like it worked,
worked.
and I felt like I was doing something that wasn't going to harm me, that I was going to pay a price for later.
Right.
Or like with the shot of whiskey, which we joke about, you know, slurring when you're doing your presentation isn't really good for your credibility. So that was
True.
kind of off the table. Then I also I liked this one. I liked what it said on the box. It says anxious, overwhelmed, stressed. That seemed like a good Anxiocalm, and so it was supposed to be helpful with sleep and things. So the night before, I took one of those. I just felt like it relaxed me a little.
Did you think you got a better night's sleep?
I do think I got a
Okay,
better night's
okay.
sleep. But the other thing that helped me get a better night's sleep was knowing that I was prepared.
Right.
So let's don't forget that there's not necessarily a Band-Aid for everything. Let's don't just go along in our lives and do what we always do and then think, well, I can take an herbal
Take a bunch of pills,
supplement.
yeah.
And I'll be all right with
If
it.
you're nervous, then do something to address that. Know your lines if you're doing a presentation. If you're nervous about something because it's the unknown, research it so that you can take away that. Let's go to the root of the problem instead of just putting a salve over it. Speaking of salves, I did some essential oils. That one's called Stress Away. I just put a little bit on my
Pulse points.
wrists and pulse points, and then I could smell it, and it had a nice calming effect. So, and then there's all kinds. I didn't use this one in particular. I like ashwagandha, holy basil. Those are good, good natural Ayurvedic herbs. I didn't use those this time, but that was an option. And then the last thing that I did was, this is a journal. I journal about things. If I've got anxiety, I'm worried
And
about
how does that
something,
help you?
Because it gets
Kinda
it
let it
off my
out.
chest. I got to write and say, you know, I'm having moments of feeling like, why did I say I would do this? I'm not worthy. Whatever. And by uttering it out loud and processing it, I could look at it and say, I got that out. It's not inside. And another way would be to talk to someone, a friend, a trusted other, a professional. So
I think what about breathing? I think breathing
Breathing.
is huge. Breathing exercises, and I mean it even just for 5 deep breaths, or
Yes.
you don't have to spend a ton of time, but breath work I think is a really big part of helping with calming as
It
well.
absolutely is, and yoga practices and things, meditation. Even finding there are points, acupressure points on our hands. Look those up and see, especially for like things like anxiety from flying. You'll see sometimes people doing this. They'll be worried about the plane, and they'll be doing these kinds of things.
So that's what they're doing. If they're doing- okay, I
Or
didn't realize that.
I've been illness before seasick, and the pressure points here. So those things work.
You might see some people that have some wristbands.
Yes,
that have
with the little
pressure
bead,
points
yep.
on them. Yep.
Yeah. Don't let it consume you. Don't let it, there's things you can do to alleviate it.
And one of the big things is talk about it. And that's what we're doing here today.
And we can talk about it with you because she invites all of you to join her online.
Absolutely.
Of course, online with all your social media as well as your website, which is
fork-road.com.
So
Yes.
reach out to her and you'll have all of the information that you shared with today. And congratulations, I was there last night, what you were talking about, this Des Moines Storytellers Project. You did a fabulous job. I love that event, and lots of great stories out there, and it takes courage to get up there and share them on that platform. So
Thank
good
you.
job out of you.
Thank you. I survived it.
You did. You did a great
Without
job.
the whiskey.
And
Without
we
the
all
whiskey.
learned a little
And
something.
I think your website now is fork-road.com.
Oh, very good. Ba-dum-bum.
All right.